With the Sunspear now in hand, it's time to go over what truly separates it from Vanquish. On the surface, they look like the same weapon, just 3 tiers apart. But the defining difference that puts the Sunspear ahead is that it is augmentable through the Invention skill. Invention is a skill that augments and buffs your weapons, armor, and tools, as well as giving access to some other neat unlocks later on. However, as Runescape's only elite skill, it requires 80 Divination, Smithing, and Crafting to start training it. So that's our plan for today. We are going to unlock and begin training Invention. And we're going to start with Divination. This one we've been training daily, almost since the start of the account, by doing divine caches. 40 days into the account's lifespan, we did enough caches to get ourselves up to 80 Divination. I definitely wasn't as religious with this as I could have been, but the timing worked out perfectly for us. The next skill we tackled was Smithing. Since the mining and smithing rework, this skill is a slow and steady cycle of gathering ores and smithing burial sets to get from, for example, 60 to 65, then boosting to make the next tier of pickaxe to gather ores faster, and then doing the same to go from 65 to 70 before moving on to the next ore. To help with this, there's a series of mini-quests called Dorix tasks and Borix tasks, unlocked after doing the quest What's Mine is Yours, which has you mine and smith specific things for them in exchange for direct XP rewards and bonus XP in the form of the Gothanan's Amulet. Since mining and smithing are intentionally balanced such that you need more ore for smithing levels than you get from the same mining level, this bonus XP helps keep smithing caught up. Unfortunately, however, this grind turned out to be a bit more treacherous than expected. After teleporting to Relica to gather some Bainite for the tier 80 pickaxe, I had to go AFK for a moment, and when I returned, I came back to Death's office. I am still not 100% sure what attacked me here. My best guess is that as I was leaving, I ran myself into the rock crabs, but the reality is that what actually killed me was my lack of diligence. I broke 2 golden rules here that led to this situation. The first being not wearing my Ring of Life at all times. One slightly annoying thing of playing a hardcore is remembering to equip your Ring of Life every time you bank, and since I was only mining, I let it slip my mind. That was a huge mistake. And the second rule was not lobbying whenever going AFK on a hardcore. I'll not be making either mistake again in the future, but it's a painful reminder to not get complacent even when you're just doing some mining. Not to be dissuaded, I went and made the Bainite pick and gathered over 1,000 Necronium bars worth of ore and got to work finishing up 80 smithing, which just left us with crafting to finish up. Now, crafting is a skill I have not mentioned much so far because I've been training it in the typical Ironman fashion, taking advantage of the gem rocks in Al-Kharid. These rocks absolutely shower you in sapphires, emeralds, and rubies that have many uses later on, and with the gem bag, you can gather many more gems per trip. However, something I didn't realize until right near the end of doing gem rocks is that Ironmen have access to the Porter effect of the Premier Artifact. This gives you a 50% chance to teleport gathered items to the bank for an hour each day. Doubling the amount of gems you can gather before needing to bank is quite a boost here, given that we can't just buy a mystical sand seed off the GE. Once all our gems have been cut, we hit our final requirement for Invention, 80 crafting. So it's time to head over to the Invention Guild just north of Falador to get started with one of the best skills RuneScape has to offer. But first, we gotta run through the tutorial. It's just making a quick gizmo and putting it on a flower, so I'm gonna not bore you with that and be right back. I see they still haven't fixed the pop-up boxes for Invention. I have no idea what this is supposed to say. And voila, Invention tutorial done. So I tried to use the weapon gizmo to get mobile with what the tutorial gives you at the start. It's not very easy, so we'll just get rid of this for now and come back to that in a few levels. So the TLDR of Invention is you can augment items and put perks on them. Those items can then level up and get benefits for leveling up. Now, levels go up to 20 in the grand scheme of things. Currently, we are capped to level 5. When you disassemble stuff, its level boosts how much XP you get. So the idea is you augment stuff, perk it up, use it, disassemble it, level up Invention. Now, that's one of the reasons we wanted the Sunspear so badly. This is a weapon that we can augment and use for all 3 styles, which makes it amazing for stuff like Slayer. Basically, it just means we can go and train Slayer, and no matter what style we use, we'll also be training Invention at the same time with a pretty solid weapon. The downside is you don't really want to be using this until you hit 27 Invention, because it's pretty expensive to just disassemble this at level 5. You only have to do it a couple times, but it's, you know, we're a little broke, so we're gonna just start by disassembling a bunch of stuff we have in the bank for components. Stuff like our fortunate components can free up some bank space now. We've got a bunch of this salvage, some bows, some insulated boots. At some point we need to turn these enchanted gems into Slayer rings. We can do that a little bit in the future. And yeah, we're gonna see how far we get just disassembling all this stuff first. Okay, so disassembling all the random salvage, bows, and the boots that we had bought from the Slayer Masters. We got up to 10 Invention, and we got a nice little starting pouch of components. This isn't a huge amount by any means. This number of powerful components is just going to disappear so quick. But for now, we can at least start working on making some augmenters. We have enough parts to make a few. Actually, just one. We need enhancing components, which means we are missing one crucial source of components, which is the ability to make Slayer rings. We have 14,000 enchanted gems. I should probably stop buying these. But turning these into rings of slaying is one of the best sources of precious and enhancing components, so we're going to have to start working on a bit of a Slayer grind soon. But for now, since I don't want to augment my Sunspear, I'm instead going to first augment a Black Salamander. We have plenty of these. I could just disassemble these. As much as it says you can't disassemble living creatures, apparently Black Salamanders don't count, which is kind of grim. But yeah, we're going to augment one of these and get it up to level 5, disassemble it, see how close that gets us to 27. Well, leveling up our Salamander, we hit 80 Slayer. Now, this is a nice level because it gives us the requirement for the light within. However, I'm actually planning to go for 90 Slayer before even getting into Prif, simply because I need to do a bunch of grinding with the Sunspear anyway, so I may as well get just 10 Slayer levels. I don't know how we got 80 so fast. Actually, I do. It's Greater Demon Berserkers. They're absolutely busted. But yeah, it feels so weird to have 90 Slayer not be this, like, really big goal for an account. It feels way smaller now. Okay, our first Black Salamander up to level 5. So if we disassemble this, we'll get 100k Invention XP, which is enough to get us to 22. So we're going to have to do another Black Salamander, unfortunately. Hopefully we actually have enough components to make a second augmenter. That said, we did just unlock a lot of things, including, if I find it, the Gemstone Golem outfit. And we've been doing so much mining, we actually have everything we need to make this outfit. So I wonder if just discovering all this will get us to 27. Let's find out. Discovering everything got us up to 24 Invention, which gives us access to, honestly, quite a bit of stuff. Just 3 levels away from our goal, which feels a little unfortunate, but since we hit 20, we can at least go to skilling outfit pieces, and we can make the entire Gemstone Golem outfit, which is actually kind of nice. Unfortunately, we're already going to get like 15 Invention XP for making this whole thing. However, getting an entire elite skilling outfit out the way already feels really good. Especially since if we ever do melee, we are going to be getting all the way up to 99 mining and smithing in order to make masterwork. So in order to use these golem pieces, we just combine 3 different outfits, the Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby Golem outfit into the Magic Golem outfit. And this gives a bunch of boosts to mining. If we have the Mining XP outfit, which we don't yet, but we can get relatively soon, then we will get the 6% XP boost from that. It makes the Living Rock Cavern creatures not aggressive to us, which means we can safely go down there and mine from the concentrated gold, which is going to be very, very nice. And it also gives a multiplier when actively mining by engaging with rock opportunities, as well as just a critical strike bonus. Basically, it gives us about a 5% boost to mining, is my understanding. And even more if you actually follow all the rock opportunities. So, very nice outfit to have, and pretty much required for teams if you want to mine at Croesus, I believe. Now we've had a play around with Invention, it's time to go over how we're going to be sourcing the materials for augmenters. There are 5 components required to make an augmenter in addition to divine energy, with each requiring a consistent source to fund all the augmenters needed to train the skill. First up is base parts, and for these there's no better place than the White Knight shop. There's a sword shop in Varrock that you can use in a pinch, but since the mining and smithing rework, this is now a very expensive way to get base parts. In order to use the White Knight shop, you'll first need to get to the White Knight Master rank by getting 1300 kill count at Black Knights. This can be sped up by doing Elite Black Knights, which count for 12 kills each and can almost consistently be one-shot in Legacy mode with the Sunspear or Vanquish. You'll need 2 styles for these as they swap prayers against you. Then it's simply a case of buying out all the weapons with hilts and disassembling them. If you want to build up a big supply of base parts, I recommend bringing some fletching supplies for while you wait for a restock. Next up is tensile and flexible parts, which are together because they both come from the same source, bows. You can either buy out ranging shops around the world, or fletch your own bows to disassemble. If you need tensile parts specifically, then black salamanders disassemble into those, but don't give flexible parts. And now for the uncommon components, starting with enhancing. These come from jewelry, so any jewelry you can make will be useful here. If you have unlocked the ability to make rings of slaying, then those are the best. Otherwise, ruby jewelry seems to give a pretty good chance at them. And finally, powerful components. For these, you want to buy out both Slayer Master shop stocks of their insulated boots each day. The Slayer Master in Burthorpe has a separate stock to the rest of the Masters. However, if these aren't enough, then the next best option is summoning pouches or battle staves. Both relatively expensive in opportunity cost, but very good sources of powerful components. If you're leveling a Sunspear for Invention, make sure to disassemble it as a magic staff when it's level 10, for the chance of 4 powerful components. Okay, that cost a lot more gold than I was expecting, even though I was only using iron, steel, and black weaponry. But that's one more augmenter, we can throw it on our Sunspear, and we now have an augmented Sunspear. Otherwise known as the Slayer Stick. Actually, I think that title goes to the Inquisitor staff, but for an Ironman, this is your Slayer Stick. We can't really use it yet though, we want to perk it up first of all, and then we also want to unlock being able to get items to level 10, because at level 10 you get the most amount of XP for your disassembly, and you also get to keep your perks when you disassemble. Currently, if we were to level this up to 5 and disassemble it, we would lose the perks in it, I believe. So I need to first finish leveling up this Black Salamander, and that will get us to 27, or maybe a little bit past it. And for that, I'm just gonna continue on with the Slayer grind. We got demons. I don't think Black Salamanders are gonna do particularly great against Greater Demon Berserkers, but it's worth a try. Okay, it is time. Disassemble the Black Salamander for 91k XP, and we are at 28 Divination. Augmented item, maximum level 10. Beautiful. Now we can start using the Sunspear in anger. First, we gotta research this though, so let's get this done. And you always want to go for the perfect for more XP. But now that we've got augmented items going up to level 10, let's make some weapon gizmo shells, because we want to perk out that Sunspear. And there's a couple perks in particular that I'm looking for. However, one of them might take all 4 attempts. So let's go for that one first. It's going to be the more important one. And that is going to be Scavenging 2. First time? That's unfortunate. That's terrible. There we go, Scavenging 2 on the 3rd try. Not too bad. And then in this one, we may as well just throw in 5 precise components, see if we can get Precise 2. Boom, there we go. Precise 2 is just a small damage increase, and Scavenging 2. Every time we kill a mob, we have a 2% chance to get 2 uncommon components. That includes enhancing components, powerful components, all the good stuff. And then when we get a roll of scavenging, there's a 1% chance that it'll be rare components instead of uncommon components. That can be super useful if we roll something like noxious components, where just having 2 extra noxious components means disassembling 1 noxious weapon is 3 attempts at biting 4 instead of 2. Or it can just be some random garbage rares that we never end up using, but you never know till you start using it. So if we now go and grab our Sunspear, we can pop these 2 on there, and now no matter what style we're using, we are constantly rolling for more components. And there is so much we can start doing with this. Player-owned farm animals will now be getting components when we go for them. Slayer, getting components. Training Invention. Getting Invention unlocked early before you do all these other grinds, it's just so worth it. The first place to put our Sunspear to use, well, specifically scavenging, is corpse spiders. So far we've got 1 spider egg from the trapper, along with a zygomite actually, and now we need a breeding pair. The reason we want to start breeding spiders is mostly just for XP on the farm. I want to start getting up to farming the dragons that we're getting an absolute mountain of from wildy events, so to do that we need to get up to 92 farming, and that means getting us spiders. I'm undecided if I'm going to go for yaks yet or not, or if I'm just going to let spiders do most of the heavy lifting. And the scavenging 2 is already paying off. Those 2 times enhancing components. Very nice, very nice. Okay, this is one of the few places I'm going to feel safe using a Scrimshaw of Aggression. Probably aggression potions as well, but basically nothing here can really kill us, and I don't know where else I'm gonna use these. They aren't quite as good as aggression potions for stuff like Slayer, because they kind of aggro mobs one at a time, whereas aggro pots you want to draw like a whole room on top of you to AoE them down. Ironically, I think we'll have to pay a lot of attention when using aggro pots, which is kind of not how they're normally used on accounts. But for stuff like this, just using all the Scrimshaw of Aggressions that we'll get from the Mimic, etc., seems perfectly reasonable. Farm some components, set up Ult 1 to alert us for pet drops, and see if we get some... Set up Ult 1 to alert us for some farm animal drops, and pray we get lucky. And yes, I do see the irony in saying nothing here can kill us, after potentially dying to a unicorn at Relica. There it is, our first spider egg unchecked. What's it gonna be? It's a female. We already had a female. It's fine, you normally need an average of like, what, 4 is it to get a breeding pair or something? So, maybe next one. Okay, there's the next spider egg. Is this one going to be a male? It's a male! We have a breeding pair. We are done. Let's get this turned off. Only took 36 minutes as a scrimshaw. Not bad at all. Let's get over to the farm and get these guys ready to go. Okay, so the first pain point with spiders is that they eat meat and seeds, and I do not have enough seeds to feed them, so we're going to have to dig into our meat supplies for that, and we're also going to have to move our sheep into this pen. I think I'm actually just going to release all the sheep, because I am going to be changing the advertisement over to spiders, so I'm never going to sell these. They're just going to take up bank space. There we go, advertising for spiders. He arrives tomorrow's reset. I don't know if we're going to have any spiders ready to go for then. But that is spiders growing in the POF. So, the goal. The goal now is to get animals can breed in medium pens. We are a good number of beans off that, but hopefully selling some of the spiders will very quickly make up that difference. Another thing on our list of stuff to get ready for our Slayer grind is getting our prayer level up a bit. We're barely getting anything from prayer potions at the moment, and we don't yet have access to our piety level prayers. So we're just going to be gathering 1200 buckets of slime and do our first 1200 Inferno Ashes at the Ectofuntus so we can get the prayer outfit. I had heard they sped this up a bit. It doesn't look like it is sped up, unfortunately, so we're going to be here a while. Well, there's 1200 buckets of slime done. Now it's time for the 100 round trips of Ectophile. Spam click the Ectofuntus. And back towards retreat. The reason we're doing this instead of the Wildy Altar is to get the prayer out, which will give us 6% bonus XP in prayer when not using the Ectofuntus, weirdly enough. There we go, we are over 6,000 Ecto tokens. So we can talk to the Shady Ghost here, and he will sell us pieces of the first age outfit, which is the prayer outfit. Okay, there we go, there's the entire outfit. Okay, so the wiki doesn't have a clear answer on whether or not the 2% chance to save a bone while burying also affects using them on an altar, so I guess let's go test it out ourselves. Okay, time to see if this works on offering to altars. You see we're getting a nice little 6% XP boost here, and so far no saved items as far as I can tell. I would be surprised if it worked here. It turns out the first age outfit does actually work when using the Chaos Altar. It just doesn't work with ashes. I swapped over to using some of the Dagganoth bones from our DK's Reapers because this is the last of my Inferno Ashes and we're not quite 70. And it actually procced and saved the Dagganoth bone, which is really nice. So I guess once we get a bunch of dragon bones from Vindicta or something, we'll bring them here with this outfit and get a ton of XP. Although before I go past 70, I should probably get the Wildy Hards done so I can use Harrison here to unnote bones instead of banking. Makes it just a little bit quicker. And there we go, we are now at 70 prayer and have access to the damage boosting prayers for all 4 styles. Not sure how long it's going to take us to go and unlock curses, but I think I'll need a plan for getting at least 92 for Soul Split before we consider doing that. As for what we used getting here, we ran through every single Inferno Ash we'd been getting from Wildy events. I'm saving the Wyvern Bones for when we eventually do Necromancy because they used for some of the rituals there, and about half our Dagganoth Bones, so not too bad overall. And thankfully, the first stage outfit does work on bones, so when we get Dragon Bones from Vindicta, which you get a lot of Dragon Bones from Vindicta, we'll be bringing him here, and that'll probably be a sizable contribution towards 92 prayer. So with our weapon of choice in hand and our tier 70 prayers ready to go, we're going to be picking up next time going for 90 Slayer as a prelude to working towards Prifdinus. So I hope to see you all then, and if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll catch you again next time.